Welcome, everybody, to the Scale Up Show. This is Ryan here. I have an awesome guest on today. I have Jeff Mills from iMerit, who's been in machine learning and AI for 25 years, works with some of the largest language models in the world, as well as the largest companies deploying AI. And so his insights were absolutely amazing as we got into everything from agents to LLM use to the future of work. I think you'll really enjoy this episode because his perspective is very unique, has a massive amount of experience in startups on top of it. So you're going to want to check this out. How do you grow like a VC-backed company without taking on investors? Do you want to create a lifestyle business, a performance business, or an empire? How do you scale to an exit without losing your freedom? Those are the questions, and this show is the answer. You're looking out over the next 2 years, based on your experience. I mean, I guess what are the use cases that you think are going to be solved, and how does that spill over into agents, autonomous agents, if you will?
I think back office is going to continue to get more and more automated pretty quickly. I think this is the first time that we're going to see certain jobs, right, get automated, and some people are going to need to learn how to leverage their skill sets in other domains and other ways. That said, I still do believe that these are tools, and that primarily what you're using it for doesn't replace Ryan Stanley. What it does is it just makes Ryan that much more productive and that much better at what Ryan does. Do you need as many Ryans maybe in a company? Maybe not. So do I need as many people to build a house? Now that I have, a nail gun than I did before, maybe a couple less, right? But it's still at the end of the day, it's just making people more efficient and better at what they do. You still need to know and be an expert at the things you're doing. And I don't think that AI is just going to completely change that, in 2 minutes. That said, our parents came from the gold watch generation. That they stayed at a company for 50 years and got a gold watch. Our generation did not do that. We started switching jobs every couple of years, but we stayed pretty much probably in the same industries. Mm-hmm. I think what's about to happen now is that you're going to start moving a lot more. People are going to start moving industries. People are going to start moving professions. They're going to start moving kind of job titles and stuff much faster than before, because where those things land is going to change, and so I think that is something people need to get their mind around. And I think companies are going to have to change and adjust much faster than they did in the past. So, one of the quotes I've been using a lot lately, is basically, Darwin taught us that it's really not the strongest that's going to win, and it's not the smartest that's going to win. It's the most adaptable that's going to win. I think that's every company and every person, and this is what I'm preaching to my kids, be adaptable, be flexible, be human. Actually, the more human you are, the more skills that humans possess. These are the things that are actually going to continue to be needed. And so I think people need to concentrate, and companies need to concentrate on thinking about that.
Yeah, I think that's good, man. I think, good. I mean, I think you dropped a lot of really strong insights there that is a combination of kind of what I'm seeing at a micro level right now already, right? And we're not even hitting the autonomous phase, but I'm telling you, man, I leverage Claude Sonnet, 3.5 that just got released last week, and it showcased autonomous capabilities. Basically I had it through, and now the prompts were pretty detailed. They were very, very, very strong on that side, right? But a complete 30-day LinkedIn plan, titles, buckets, types of content, and then I had it batch and create all the content at the same time. Now, of course, it's not perfect, right? But it's getting closer to that agentic or whatever you want to say, right? Capability. And I've also seen it on 4.0 for ChatGPT with code interpreter, right? Or data analysis, because you'll just give it one instruction and then it'll keep rolling based on where it thinks you want to go. Anything like that you're seeing that you're blown away with as well?
Actually, what's coming to my mind when you're talking is a bit different. So if I throw us way off, just slap me and I'll come back.
No, that's okay, man.
Something I talk to people a lot about is I use Excel as my analogy. AI is going to be a lot like Excel. You're going to have people who actually are the coders. They're actually in there building the software, building the program, right? The programmers that are in there creating this thing that's going to happen. Then you're going to have people who use it better than anyone else that you know. People who, and everyone knows this person, that their friend has Excel and they could pivot tables and stuff, and that goes 15 sheets to the right and pulls data in. And there's someone in everyone's finance department or biz ops team or whatever that's just like some Excel like maven that just knows how to do things with Excel that I'll never understand. Then you have people who can look at the Excel and immediately go in and go, W37 is off. Like something's wrong. Like our business wouldn't produce that result in a second. And then based on this information, this is where we should pivot the company, or these are the things we need to invest in, or whatever. They use these tools as ways to get to what they're going to end up doing with it. You just described that you are an amazing user of AI. Like you're becoming that Excel person that we all like know, who can communicate through, 15 different sheets and pull all that data together. You're becoming that person. You're living that life right now, and you're living those tools to become somebody who knows that better than others do. That's an amazing skill set. So then in that, people should realize, like, you don't need to be the one who is the programmer of it to be valuable. And you don't actually need to be the insights person either, if you are amazing at using it. But if you're not amazing at using it, then you might want to become the programmer of it. If you're not the programmer of it, right, then I'll throw my hat in that third bucket. You better know the business well enough to look at it and go, based on this result, we're going to have to do the following 5 things and be able to jump in and do that. I think each person, that's the kind of mindset that they need to have when they're looking at this stuff. As far as like which ones are really doing things that I think is exceptional and like getting the right results, I really do think you know that better than I do, Ryan, even from a day-to-day usage perspective within your expertise. Each one of these are going to have been trained with these, I'm just going to keep calling it RAG models for now, with these tailored data sets that are going to make them stronger in different segments. It's going to get noisy really fast. If you go on to Hugging Face or any kind of, open web area where you can pull into open source models and things like that, just the space is going to get very crowded very fast with all kinds of updates. And so that's going to be its own thing, is what's the best, model for, and then input what you're trying to do, right? And so that's gonna, there is how many hammers at Ace Hardware? There's a whole bunch. There's a framing hammer, there's a blah blah hammer. It's the same thing. You're gonna have all kinds of different models for different results that you want to get. When am I the most like, I'm kind of big right now into this multimodal stuff. Now it's called really moving into omnimodal. Multimodal was basically you have like a vision model, and then you basically like tied a language model onto it. So it was multimodal. It could look at both, video and language, and then audio, and then they're kind of just strapping on these models to it. Now omnimodal is being able to do that from day one. So like now you're starting to see models where in the self-driving car domain or the ADAS domain, where literally the car is speaking about what it's doing as it's doing it. So it's not just self-driving or on autopilot. It's telling you on autopilot, I am now approaching the stop sign, so I'm slowing my speed. I'm now, moving, going to turn right because it's clear. And, it's telling you everything that's happening around it while it's doing it. That multimodal or omnimodal type of representations to me starts getting like really cool, because there's so many applications that are going to come out of these things that people haven't even like begun to think about. And that's also where I'll double down, on the job thing. This is going to create more jobs than people have any idea. So many different industries are going to be created. So many different things are going to move out. That I think it's a very exciting time from that perspective. But people should be nervous and understand it, why they do it. So it's not just like it's going to all be, sunsets and rainbows,
puppy
and
dogs and ice cream,
and the stuff.
right?
Like, there's going to be issues. Yeah, I mean, there's going to be problems, but at the same time, like, don't be super scared of it either. Credit cards affected, bank tellers, right? I mean, cars affected the horse and buggy people. Like, I mean, like things have come through and done this a bunch of times. What opens up from this, I think, is going to be obscene.
Yeah.
I mean, the amount of opportunity that's going to open up from this, it's like email did not kill everyone's jobs. I mean, like there's lots of jobs.
Yeah.
There will be plenty of jobs. You're going to have to be flexible and adapt.
Yeah. Now, I think I love that example that you brought up with vision combined with the model, because I was just brainstorming a ton on like model stacking last week, and like I did a video on it on my YouTube channel. Like, this is so simple, but basically I tried Luma AI, right, which is that text to video generator. Yeah. It got tons of buzz. It's pretty cool. It had lots of delays, and obviously when it came out, but I wrote a prompt and it's like, okay, well, you could have a prompt assistant. I'm like, why don't I just have ChatGPT create a prompt, given the right parameters around it? And it's like hyper expressive, and the level of detail it goes in is insane. And so the result I got was exceptional when I did that. Like, you could also do that with like Midjourney, where you take a picture, you put it on Midjourney, have Midjourney describe it, then have ChatGPT optimize it, and then put it back into ChatGPT and create like 100 different, graphics based on that style and visual. So like stuff like that, I think is really cool too. And I see there's a lot of opportunity there.
And that's a creative job, right? I mean, people have been doing literally what you just said in, ad agencies around the world for a very long time. Now they just have another tool to do it.
Right.
Now, I mentioned Criteo earlier. That's programmatic ad buying, which is all machine learning run, leveraging ads that were generated based on someone's browsing behavior and user patterns within an e-commerce store, that basically creates ads like a recommendation engine would, recommend you products or shows to watch or places to travel based on, e-commerce. Like, all of this stuff has been around for a long time. None of this is really that new. You just never played with it yourself before, right? Those ads have been following around the internet, getting you to buy the, matching shoes to the polo you bought, like, is doing the same thing, right? It's basically created a prompt, right? That's saying, what kind of shoes would Ryan want based on the shirt he bought, right? Well, and where was Ryan going to be most likely to click on an ad and buy if he was, doing his day? Okay, it would be these places. Okay, so we should run the ad in these areas, and the odds of him buying it or clicking on it is about X, so we should pay more than Y for that inventory. And I mean, like, it's all the same stuff. The difference is now you're playing with it. You get to do it yourself. Yeah. And so, like, that's kind of cool. So one person could look at that and say, oh my God, it's automating everything. The other thing is actually it's giving you the power to do it yourself. You're actually creating those ads yourself now, or you're creating these, images or these things on your own. I don't know. I actually think that's
pretty cool. I agree, man. Like, I haven't wrote this yet. But I've effectively hired, 10 employees for $30 a month now, because they all have skills that I didn't have, right? Like graphics, copywriting, like video creation. Right. So I'm on board with that. Well, unfortunately, Jeff, we're just about up on time. I got one more question for you though, before we wrap. I guess my question for you is, like, everything that you've seen and kind of like what we've talked about, if you had a rate on a scale of like 1 to 10, 10 being like off the charts important versus a 1 of acquiring AI skills, whether it be technical or non-technical, where would you rate it in terms of the future of work, in terms of someone needing to do that?
I mean, I think you know my answer. It's beyond 10. I mean, like, there's no job that's going to exist that doesn't have AI in it soon. And I think that's the problem is people look at it as a vertical, or people look at it as a niche thing, or people look at it as like a division within a company. And the reality is AI is going to be embedded into everything we do. And all you're really saying when AI is being embedded into everything you're saying is you're saying everything's going to be making data-driven decisions on a programmatic basis. Like, like that's not actually that bad, or that's scary if you think about it that way. But it's not just like, I think a lot of people are like, oh, it's in the internet. Oh, it's going to be in social media. Oh, it's already in all those places. Now it's in your lawnmower. Now it's in your refrigerator, right? Like your refrigerator is going to understand based on what you have in it, how cool should it be? Should it be cooler right now because you have these other items in it? Like if there's less items in it, I probably don't need to be as cool. Like these decisions will start being made in everything that you have to run more efficiently. That's not bad, but you have to understand it and not be scared of it and lean into it because it's going to be everywhere.
Love that, man. Well, this was amazing. I might have to have you back on for another episode, minus all the technical blips we had to kick things off or whatever. But where can people find you? Where can they find more about iMerit? And then we'll wrap things up, man.
Yeah, email's just jeff@imerit.net. Our URL is iMerit.net. You can find me on LinkedIn pretty quick at Jeff Mills iMerit.
Awesome, man. Well, dude, it was a pleasure having you on. I loved our conversation. Like, I never know how these are going to go based on the guest experience, but I think you knocked the cover off the ball and did absolutely amazing, man. So it was great having you on.
Thanks a lot, Ryan. Appreciate it.
And I appreciate you, and we'll see you on the next episode. Thank you for checking out the Scale Up Show. My mission in life is to help founders and revenue leaders avoid all the pain and suffering in revenue growth so they can flip it and create a life of their own design. So if you enjoyed this show, please like, review, share it on social, and more importantly, just share it with a friend. Share it with someone that you think could learn and benefit from what you heard on today. But the more we get the message out, the more people we could help, the bigger the impact we make, and the bigger the community gets, which helps everybody. So once again, thank you for being a loyal listener. I appreciate you and look forward to seeing you on the next episode.